Hello everyone, this is GWiz, and today I'm bringing you a replay of the last match that that I did, that I was pretty impressed with, because I have been bringing my APM from 36 up to 55 APM for this game by using this strategy for Terran. Now, last time when I got gold, I was using Zerg, but with Terran, expanding is actually more challenging because it costs 400 minerals for this command center. So that's really the secret to being able to win with Terran, though, is expanding. And also being able to adapt by, fly your buildings away. So that is where Terran kind of outshines. I like the fact that I can lift my buildings up, because Protoss and Zerg, right, they only have ground forces at first. So for the rush strategy, Terran has very good defense. I think with a team, they can actually hold the line and stop a lot of rushes. So defensive-wise, Terran can be quite good. I think that Zerg can also be quite good. But with Zerg, it's all about just like speed, basically. You have to be able to overwhelm your opponent. With Protoss, you have to outsmart your opponent a bit and know how to predict them. Completely different animals altogether. Quite literally. Okay, so you can see here, I'm sticking with slowly having my SCVs start to gather gas, simply because I do not need that much gas at first, but I eventually get the 3 for 3 on here. The reason why I do this is because I want to be able to collect more minerals so I can expand and make more buildings. By doing it this way in the beginning, this carefully planned resourcing strategy actually allows me to maximize my growth on barracks. And as you can see, a lot of players, they like to go for that early expansion, and this is a good idea because it allows you to build a large army earlier, but the problem with this is, by doing it like this and expanding in regular minerals like this, you're also going to be behind on the rush. So this person is vulnerable to being attacked with his strategy here, but he does have at least one barracks, which is cool. I like that he has at least one. So he's building an army, but it's just not a very big army. Me, on the other hand, that's the first thing I worked on, was having a huge army, because I'm going to do rush strategy. So with rushing, I'm using these Reapers. Now, Reapers do not do a lot of damage, as you can see. They use a pistol. They don't even use a rifle, okay? So they have pistols, and they do 2 attacks, so it does 8 damage, and it happens to do bonus damage to light units like Marines. So that means that by building Reapers over Marines, I'm actually going to be in the benefit. These are a very powerful unit. It has 60 health, and a typical Marine has about 45 to 55 health, depending, so it can match a Reaper once it's upgraded. But I really like the Reapers in the beginning because they clearly have the advantage over the Marine in the beginning. And so I just make these Reapers because, I mean, what good Terran player doesn't make Reapers? Please do tell. Reapers are freaking amazing. Only issue about Reapers is they can only target ground units. But luckily, in the beginning, there are no ground units, really. In the beginning, there's nothing but ground units. Just look how these 4, what is it? I had like 3 Reapers here, and it just shredded these Marines. So Reapers are clearly better than Marines. So I just go with the Reapers. Reapers are great. They can jump up walls, they're very strategic for rush strategy. The thing is, though, is a lot of players, they don't rush because you don't really need to in the story mode most of the time, and so they never really learn from story mode to rush. I love that. Super clean. I lost a Reaper there, but I also killed an SCV. That's such a win. That's such a win. When you get what you want, you're definitely winning. Reapers are so good against SCVs because of their maneuverability, so they can avoid danger because they're very fast in the beginning. But of course, you can counter these hard later with, even Zerglings can kill these things eventually. Reapers have to hug close to a wall if you're going to use them in late game. That's for sure. They're definitely not easy to use later, but they're excellent when it comes to agility in the beginning. I really like how we were able to just completely sweep the enemy's expansion. Now, the reason why the enemy might build barracks out here is because what this strategy is it's a basically it's a reinforcement strategy. Since Marines are very slow, by building the buildings closer to the enemy base, it allows the enemy team to reinforce his army faster with Marines, which are very all-purpose units, since they can attack air and ground units. As you can see, honestly, that does have its advantage, but if you look at the Reaper, again, 4 damage, however, there's 2 attacks, and with the Marine, there's only 1 attack. How about that? So you're doing only 6 damage a second with the Marine, and you're doing 8 damage a second with Reaper. Reapers are just great. They have the same range. Look at that weapon speed. That's the only thing that's not so good with the Reaper. It's weapon speed. Doesn't compare to the Marine, actually. So that weapon speed is at 0.61. I would imagine that means that the Marine is faster. Slightly faster. By like 20%. Which means that their damage is actually comparable to Reaper. Hence why if you're going to use the barracks later in the game, Marines are the best. And if you take a look at my base, I have like 2 tech labs and 2 reactors. Don't underestimate the reactors. Even with the now I'm not doing that with the factory, but I'm not going for factories for this one. If I went for factories, I could mass Thors, and massing Thors is incredible, super effective actually, but it does have its weaknesses. It is more difficult to micro with Thor. I have not mastered that, but I have gotten quite familiar with using the air strategy, which is a mixture of Vikings and battle cruisers. I can do it with just battle cruisers, honestly. Battle cruisers are very effective in mass quantity, but they do have their weaknesses. For one, their strategy is to hit and run when the opponent outmatches them, such as against Void Rays. Void Rays are very difficult for battle cruisers to face because their guns simply do not compare to the Void Ray against Protoss, and so those battle cruisers will get destroyed by the Void Rays. But those cannons that they have ultimately make the difference, and
our allies' base is under attack. Our allies are being attacked. Our allies' base is attacked.
You even get to see it. I was going to show you some stats on these battle cruisers. Check this out. So, look at that weapon speed. That's what impresses me the most with the battle cruiser. They have such an impressive weapon speed of 0.16, and it was for like, what, 6 damage as well? That means that they can basically kill a Marine in just 1 second. That's insane. Okay? And they have a lot of health, too. So I'm over here sniping the heck out of Purple because he has no defense. And, he brings in 3 battle cruisers to take me out real quick. 6 damage, 6 range. That's another thing that really gives these battle cruisers the advantage. 6 range. They can actually snipe out Marines and kill them as the Marines are running at them. And the Marines would never deal any damage to the battle cruiser at all. Just fly away, buy Marines, and then vaporize all of them. So they are a hard counter to a person that likes to go all Marines. But all Marines are actually quite effective against Thors. So it really depends. Thors are very cliche, but I like
Our
Thors
allies
because
are being attacked.
if you have enough of them, battle cruisers, they just can't stop them. That's the strategy with Thor. Thor is just something that just is a guarantee it's going to destroy some buildings strategy, but it uses up a lot of resources, I've noticed, and they're quite slow, so they are very easy to counter. I like the Thor. As you can see here, I played this match and won with about 3 bases. I expanded twice, but the gold minerals are just huge. Look how much minerals I have from this match. I'm going to speed it up a bit 2 times. So now we're all out like a, I'm basically building up forces. As you can see, I'm going for these battle cruisers here, and I'm trying to work on defending my base. That's right. If you try to rush me, I will come at you. That's right. And I have my Marines, I think I
Upgrade complete.
brought back to the base. Where are those Marines? Anyway, I have 14 Marines here. I got battle cruisers already. So, like, even if someone did try to, like, snipe these guys out, I don't have a lot of SCVs over here. And then I have a whole bunch over here. And
Mineral field depleted.
I have more defense as well over here.
Research.
But I think that someone could bring...
Upgrade complete.
You know, this base was not heavily defended. I really just wasn't going for that. Because when you rush someone, it really does throw them off. It makes it difficult for them to rush you back. That's a good thing. So they were going for massive units here. And let's look at these, like, what? 5 Ultralists just shred like half of these Vikings apart. And then I brought in my units to finish it up. And Orange just... he didn't even get any action, really. So he's got all these Vikings over here. What I like about Vikings and I dislike about Vikings is Vikings are just super versatile. Look at that damage too. It's 24 damage every 0.71 seconds. I mean, dang, that's pretty awesome actually, I have to admit. And then when they're in the air, they, you know, they're also doing pretty good because they get 2 attacks, which means they're doing at least 32 damage each attack. And to a battle cruiser, when you have enough of them, they do really, really good when you have a lot, because individually Vikings are inferior to the battle cruisers. But something about battle cruisers to be concerned with is just how many people it takes in order to fill that order. So if you look at battle cruiser, it uses 6 supply. And with Viking, you're only using 2 supply, which means you get 3 Vikings instead of just 1 battlecruiser. 3 Vikings would deal about enough damage in order to destroy a battlecruiser. I would say that 3 of them would do about 100 damage or so per second, and the battlecruiser is only going to be doing about 7 damage. No. I have to multiply that actually. That needs to be multiplied by at least 7, which means it would do about 50 damage a second, meaning a Viking is going to be destroyed probably. But look at the health of the Viking, it's at 135. That means in 3 seconds, this battlecruiser would have sustained 300 damage, 1 Viking would be destroyed, and then another Viking would be severely damaged, but the battlecruiser would go down with just 3 Vikings.
Our allies are being attacked.
Ready to plunder.
SCV ready. Our allies are being attacked.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Our allies are being attacked. Command center upgrade. Mineral field depleted. Our allies are being attacked.
this. So I brought in battle cruisers, right? Now, I know that Vikings have the advantage on battle cruisers, hence why I lost most of my battle cruisers. But what made up for it was the Yamato cannon. Without Yamato cannon, these battle cruisers would be basically useless. It does instant 240 damage, which will destroy a Viking instantly. So by massing, if you have enough battle cruisers, in other words, you can sneak attack an opponent that only has a handful of Vikings, no problem.
Upgrade.
As long as you can match the force. Now, if you were to go 100% all Vikings, that strategy wouldn't do jack shit. But because the enemy was weakened and only had about, I'd say 100 supply of units, a handful of battle cruisers like that will actually get the job done. But Vikings have an advantage of 50%. So they are 50% more effective in combat than the battle cruisers. But the battle cruisers are so worth it once you have them upgraded. It goes up exponentially. Being able to fully upgrade battle cruiser that can do 8 damage times 7, which would be about 56 damage or so a second. Yep. Amazing. I love these things. Really, really good. And against ground forces, it would just disintegrate a Marine. No problem. I love these things. They are the best for countering Marines. Look at that. You just... going air with Starcraft is great. It's a good way to go. I think there are similar strategies like that, but another strategy I ought to try to see if it would work is massing the Thors. I don't know. I just feel like if I mass Thors and just attack with them, I wouldn't regret it. Thors probably be an option. I'm sure people do that. Now, if I were to do that, I'm not too sure what the outcome would be, but I know that Thors are definitely pretty awesome. When you bring them in with a mixed unit group, meaning you don't just make Thors. You gotta have some anti-air. Air units are so common in this game. Without air units, you really just can't get anything done. And building Vikings and battle cruisers have always been an effective way to play StarCraft. Terran. Now, what I'm worried about is people are going to start using the rush strategy by creating a flyer and just teleporting into someone's base and destroying them real quick. All crazy. That's very late game. That strategy is very late game, which is within about 20 minutes. Someone could just... Actually, you could probably get it done within 15 minutes, having a mass swarm of battlecruisers in 15 minutes. Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. But it would just be barely by 15. So with StarCraft, knowing the time is actually very important. I was just really proud of this particular match. Take a look at the resources and see. These are the characters. Yep. So you'll see that although purple, or how do I call them? It's not pink, but we call them pink just because it's like a light purple. Okay, so whatever, pink. Actually disappointed me, I'll have to say. Orange surprised me in this round because he also went for an Air Force, but his Air Force honestly is pretty similar to mine, except he has 5 instead of this is okay though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 is good. I like 6. I found that 6 gives me a better advantage because when massing battle cruisers, I don't like to produce just 3 at a time. They take so freaking long in order to build. As you can see, this is a common strategy with the Air Force, is to mostly focus on tech labs. So you can see, I have at least 4 tech labs, and I get Is that all I have? Wait, what? Oh, I only built tech labs this time. Oh, well, sometimes I build reactors. For this round, I think I was rushing, and I only built reactors for tech labs for some reason. I only built tech labs. Some players actually only build reactors sometimes, but I think that the tech labs are more important. And I think a lot of players would agree that tech labs are like the best for massing battle cruisers. But like I said, these Vikings in combat, although they can't teleport, hence that's the main reason why battle cruisers are so freaking good. Um, these things are superior technically. Um, if you were to make all reactors, what would happen is the player would be able to produce the equivalent to a battle cruiser in terms of damage and output at a lower price. So it's only 150 minerals for a Viking, right? So not only am I using significantly less gas for the beginning, but I'm also using significantly less minerals, which allows me to have an Air Force faster. Hence, mass Vikings, also, they counter battle cruisers. So if you try to start with battle cruisers right away, just because the battle cruiser is really, really powerful, what ends up happening is Vikings can actually hard counter any battle cruisers that you produce. The only reason why I don't really go with Vikings sometimes is because I also I mass these Marines over here. So as you can see, I got 2 reactors with Marines. I do build Marines, and as you can see, I have an army here with some upgraded Marines. And take a look at that damage. Every 0.6 seconds, it's going to do 8 damage. And if you upgrade it again, it's going to do 9 damage, which means it's going to do like 15 damage per second. And these Marines, let me tell you what, it only takes 18 seconds to produce these Marines. All right, it takes 32 seconds to produce Reapers. Of course, Reapers are free and worth it, but like I said, only 18 seconds to produce Marines. Marines are a super cheap, effective unit, only requiring minerals, but they're very slow, and the only reason why I would use them is to hard counter those Vikings. It's really the only way to really counter Vikings besides also going for these Widow Mines. Now, I also have the ability to create Thors, and I tend to do still build Thors, and I don't know if that's the best strategy or not. I could also build 2 factories at least. That's also what I do when complementing the Air Force. That way, if someone's army is weakened, I can at least stop them using Thors. By being able to block the enemy's ground forces with Thors, I can stop them from destroying my base using the Thors. I basically just use them as a goalie, more or less. That's kind of how I see them. They're really slow. They're not a very good attack unit. I mean, compared to the battle cruiser, I admit that the move speed of a battlecruiser is not that great, but yeah. Thors are just, I mean, no, who honestly makes Thors? Sometimes people make Thors, but yeah, I'm noticing that the air strategy in Silver League, battlecruisers and Vikings do really well. Also, you saw those Reapers deal some major damage. So as you can see here, I have my Marines, I have my Vikings, and I do have a couple battlecruisers. We got like 3 of these things. And he has 3 battlecruisers, but no other army. Because of the lack of minerals and being worn down by the opponent. But Orange did really good in this round. I was surprised how good Orange was doing, to be honest. We completely destroyed the enemy team.